that today.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
And good evening, Bobcat Nation. Welcome to another edition of the Bobcat Blitz, where we're coming back home here to the Northport Beef Brady's, the official home. Oh, coming out today. My name is Kirkpatrick. We have John Rawlings again.
Behind the scenes.
Again, one of these days we'll get him back
Listen,
up here.
we're just making adjustments like crazy, like Coach does.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, if she can shoot from the hip, we can all shoot from the hip.
I don't know. We need to get you, John. There's something about you up here that adds class to our show.
I appreciate that.
So,
I've been known as classless.
So I haven't seen John in several weeks because these last couple Tuesdays, it's either been spring break or I have been announcing at various venues for baseball.
Absolutely.
So it's good to be back home here. I was here 2 Saturdays ago. We had a watch party for Amani Jefferson, class, I believe, 2019.
How many showed up?
We had about a dozen of us.
It's fantastic.
We'd like to get more next time.
Yeah, that's all right.
One more season to go, and let's hope she can make that happen again. If they have to win their conference to go to March Madness, they're in a small conference, only one bid gets through. But we had a great time. The week before that, my stepson and I went and saw her play in that Athletic Sun Conference Championship. So great to see that happen. Man, tonight we got a couple things going on here. We're gonna introduce our new NJROTC chief, and I'll tell you why I brought him on. There is a Northport High School athletic connection here. We're taking a break from our series we've been doing. We've been doing our feeder programs, youth teams that feed at Northport High School. We started off with the Junior Bobcats football. We then saw the Junior Bobcats wrestling. I went to Fusion out at the Narramar soccer fields, and we saw the Northport Huskies Saturday at Butler Park. We want to thank Coach Julian for letting us come out there. I know they had a great day out there at Butler Park. And we'll also be talking about beach volleyball, the interview that got cut off about a month ago, about a month ago here with Coach Aspen. So, but before I do, I have been getting asked a lot of questions about the Morgan Center, and I got misquoted at a Northport Youth Basketball Day. I want to make sure I actually have a press release from the city of Northport. I did invite them on here to the show. And I told them we'd be nothing but positive. We just wanted an update. So, guys, this is what I got. I'm not going to read word for word, but they were pretty much on top of it. 2022, of course, Ian came. Ready for this? They had made an employee shelter. Storm dislodged air handlers from the roof, rendering the air conditioning in the gymnasium inoperable, resulted in significant water intrusion, causing the floor to lift. All right, here we go. They completed the assessment that they needed a new floor before 2022. The requested budget for that was going to be $200,000. That was approved in January 23, and this is where it gets a little dicey. However, it was put on hold to ensure that the air conditioning could be addressed. That was fine. Now, while they're waiting for repairs, they went ahead. We all know about the $165,000 rental to get the AC units temporarily in there. They just found a new leak this February, and that's what's holding everything up. So it went from being I was told a long time ago it was a part to being the entire air handlers blew off the roof. Now you have 2 leaks in a row. It's looking pretty rough there. They're now going to package it to include Butler Park damages as well as the Aquatic Center. I guess there's some damages as well. So now it's being held up in who's paying for what. Is FEMA going to pay for it? Is the city insurance going to pay for it? Long story short, I don't think we're going to have it in time for this summer. So folks, that's the best I can do. I will copy paste this on there. So I'm okay with waterfront. So sorry about that, folks. I did want to ask those city, and again, it's not a negative. I would like for an analysis on what they saw before Ian in terms of the volume, because that is the heart and center of our city's athletic program for the youth. And the big selling point was we're going to have all these leagues. And they had a lot of leagues going there. I'm sure they had volleyball as well throughout. I know they have
like open gym a lot.
Yeah, for volleyball as well. Yeah. So we had a lot of use in there. And John, you've been doing a great job these last few months with your show, talking about how the city's growing.
Yep, we're booming.
And what I'm hearing from the parents, not so much as they're upset about the Morgan Center, but they're seeing all these projects being built. At the same time, you can't repair what you already have. And there's again, fair or not, I'm not trying to be political, deserved or not, there's this image that we're building, but we can't take care of what we have now. And I don't think that's a fair assessment, but it's starting to feel that way from the city that I'm talking to.
So I think it's like everything else. And I had this conversation with city manager Fletcher last night, and I think Coach would probably agree. Communication sometimes. Yeah. Communications makes a great team even better. I think what we're lacking right now is some of the information out.
Right.
And then some of the clarification of where the hurricane dollars would go to fix some of the city buildings. And we're going to get back to the grassroots of it.
Right.
Of course, sort of like the grassroots coaching, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool to kind of, I think, see a play-by-play, blow-by-blow from City Hall. And that's what I'm attempting to do in the future, is to kind of bring all that information about the parks, about youth athletics. We're short, soccer fields, we're short all kinds of things out there. So they're at the volleyball, all these things are factors within the scope of designing the city. So I think you being a voice is very valuable right now, because the volleyball courts would be a real pivotal move.
And John, I think another thing absent is there's all this growth, but we don't hear a lot of East Northport youth growth. We have the Atwater baseball field.
It's coming. It's coming.
That's what we keep hearing. So again, your communication goes back to it. We're not hearing it and we're not seeing it. So there's this image that, well, you've got a broken Morgan Center. So I get, the communication does have to get better.
And I really think that we've got Barbara Langdon coming up on the 15th. I scheduled her specific, and if you're listening to Barbara, you know I love you, but I specifically scheduled her for tax day.
And that's for your Monday show.
Yeah, that's April 15th. And I will go ahead and text her tonight and ask her to get us some updates on youth type and need to get the organizations up and running, buildings up and running. So
can I ask you, while we're still on the subject here, how many courts do you have available, beach courts, in the city of Northport?
So we have our 2 at Dallas White. That's the only ones.
That's not for a minute there. I've known those courts since time began.
Yeah.
And those, as I said, you have 2.
Yeah, we just have 2.
How would that compare to, say, Port Charlotte or Venice?
Yeah.
Not that we can compare cities.
Yeah, well, like all of the Charlotte counties, so like Lemon Bay, Charlotte, Port Charlotte, they all have like brand new courts. Like it's the nets and they're able to adjust. Like Dallas White, we can't really. It's very difficult to adjust the nets. And I know we've reached out to the city in previous seasons about it, but
So would you say they have more than 2 courts?
Yeah, they all have 3. All of their places where they have games and they practice, they all have 3 courts.
Do the high schools there, are they able to host their own meets?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
So go back to your specific need again. What would
So like with the nets, because they are there's a lot of people that play out there, so not just for the high school. So there's a lot of they kind of rig the nets and things. So if you're trying to lower it to like girls high school level, like that height that they need, we've had the nets fall and we haven't been able to get back up. And
you not want to hear this, Coach. I have driven by there and I've seen kids hanging on those nets more than once.
Which park?
At Dallas White.
Dallas White.
Yeah. So so it's definitely the nets are a little bit higher than we would like for us practicing, but
could Dallas White, what they have right now, you might not know the answer to this, could they add more to that and make it regulation for the high school meet?
I mean, definitely. Like if they,
Do they have
if it's there's definitely space out there, but if like the netting system that they have, if it's the same as like the Charlotte County schools, like they should be able, because all like Lemon Bay, Port Charlotte, and Charlotte, they're all the same like net systems. Like it's all the same.
Is that on campus of the high school?
No, so they're all like at parks.
Oh, I see.
So they're all at parks.
Because there's a rumor out there.
I know that we're supposed to have.
There's a Sarasota County rumor.
Yes.
Just like John's lights that he had to fight for, that they were going to get parked. We're going to actually have on campus.
Yes, I would like that
beach
very
facility.
much.
But that's I got way ahead of myself, guys. This is Coach Aspen Davidson.
Yeah.
We had her a couple weeks ago. The interview got broken up. Why don't you explain to the crowd what you do for the high school here?
Yeah. So I was the assistant indoor, and then I'm the head coach. It's my first year being the head coach for beach this year.
And I had made a comment way back when. I knew you as a much younger person, as young as you are now. You're younger. You are the one. I say you played for Northport High School. You assistant coach one of the earliest sports for the girls historically at Northport High School. You're now the coach of the very newest of the sports, and you are also a faculty member. What do you?
Yes.
Are you a teacher?
Yes. I teach math at the high school.
So you have 4.
Yes.
I think you outrank every coach out there in terms of that perspective. So how's been your first year? How you enjoying the head coaching this season versus assistant coaching? Is it?
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. I love it a lot. I love coaching beach. I play beach more regularly now in my free time than I do indoor. So I feel very connected to like the beach game and being able to like impose my wisdom and like what I've learned on the girls and get them into kind of that aspect of playing, because it is still volleyball, but it is a totally different.
I used to tell your players when I was an announcer, when I was in high school growing up, we never had varsity boys 6-on-6s in Sarasota, Iowa. So everything I did was beach.
Yeah.
Or was informal indoors. We did 3-on-3, 4-on-4s. It was never 6-on-6. So it was a totally different game for me.
Oh yeah.
All these years I've announced, no one's ever explained to me the substitution rules.
Yeah.
So you go to beach, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. Like with beach, like you
It's
have
just two.
You have your set, you have your two. You can't make any subs. It's very much like the girls, pretty much at our matches, they're running the show.
Comment.
Coach Welper got you here. All
Yes.
right, Mrs. Welper, how you doing? Pretty good. That's of course Mrs. Welper, one of our Newport High School fans. That's fantastic. So Aspen, let's go back a little bit in time here. When did your season start? When was your tryouts?
So we tried out beginning of February, and then we started. We had a week of practice, and then we started our preseason after that.
So your indoor season stops
like
October-ish.
Yeah, October, like
Do
around
the girls do anything in between? Like
a lot of them
league?
are playing club. So a lot of them play club indoor. So a lot of them went straight from indoor to then club tryouts.
Okay.
So they've been volleyball all through.
No rest.
No.
Now that's a different wear and tear on your body with that
Yeah.
sand.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't no longer play on sand anymore. I can't even jump an inch. It's that bad. But, so how was that transition for them, going from a nice hard court where you can jump off and really get up there to?
It's definitely an adjustment with like their balance and like adjusting their body to playing in the sand, especially having only two people. The body control and the control of the ball that you have to have is so much different.
You would say accuracy is more important than power.
More important.
Yeah.
More important now.
Unlike the Olympics where they're just whacking the heck out of it.
Yeah.
At this age group,
At this age group, the control and like playing smart is gonna make them the most successful.
How many matches a year do you have for this kind of season? What do you do?
You have usually between like 11 and 15. I think we have like around 15.
And each game is how many sets?
Each game, so you have 6 seeds. The 6th seed is like an exhibition, so it doesn't count towards your final score. So the 5 seeds will play, and it's whichever team.
So 5 pairs.
5 pairs.
The 6th pair is like
And the 6th
like
pair
a
is
JV
just,
mentality.
just like an exhibition, just to play and get practice.
Do you have a full 12 plus?
We have 13.
Plus alternate.
Yeah, so we have extra girls just in.
Excellent. And let's say next season, let's say you had 20 show up, would you let them stay on for JV?
There are several teams that we play in the area that they do have like practice players. So there's girls that they want to keep on and like kind of get them improving in their skills before getting them into matches.
That's pretty neat. So what are you finding so far as a surprise this season? What players, any strategy, philosophy changes?
Yeah, so we definitely, in comparison to past years, we've switched up the pairings a lot this year. It's just, especially playing beach, you can't have subs, it's your pair. And with the lineup, you can only kind of move someone up or down one seed per match.
So
you can't take someone and move them all the way down or move them all
guarantee
the
a
way
win,
up.
like 1 week's 5.
Yeah, so
is it like every week you go up 1 or down like that?
yeah, so it's like if we're seeing like, maybe these two are going to play better together, making those adjustments with like the chemistry, how they play on the court, because
I see individuals, not entire pairs.
Sometimes it's entire pairs, but a lot of times it's kind of individually, like, we see that maybe this player is showing a lot of growth and improvement, and maybe they're going to play better with this person. So, and we kind of test it out at practice and see how it goes.
And you're telling me off camera you have a pretty young team this year.
Yes,
how are they
we
looking
do.
to you for next
They
year?
are that's one of the surprises definitely this season, is they have definitely stepped up to the plate. All of our girls that are playing beach played indoor for us, and we have a majority of girls that were on JV this year. So we have a majority of underclassmen, but they're doing a really great job.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So what with the new sport?
Mm-hmm.
How is it being perceived in the school? Because it's new.
Yeah.
So I just want, how are the athletes trying to engage with the student body to
Mhm.
get them to come out and support it.
I definitely know that the girls announce it. We've had announcements on the news. I put stuff out with our news that we play in the morning. We had one of our players, one of our juniors, she had like 17 aces in like
Oh,
two
wow.
matches in a
Wow.
row and stuff. So just getting like the word out there about beach, because I know we definitely, a lot of the student body knows about indoor, and we have a pretty good turnout for indoor.
Yeah.
But getting them to the areas where we do play our matches, because they are not on campus, so they have to kind of travel to those
Right.
places and stuff. But
With being the coach
Mhm.
of the new
Mhm.
sport, you seem like you're pretty stoked about that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of describe how that energy transfers into coaching these athletes and taking their, I think they're really excited attitudes, but yet trying to cool their jets enough to stay
Yeah.
focused.
yeah, absolutely. We have a couple of girls that have never played beach before, so, and then we have some that are a little bit more experienced. But I always tell them, like, I would have been so excited if I had like a beach volleyball team in high school, because like when I was in high school, I would play beach tournaments, because the club scene for indoor is definitely a lot bigger now than it was when I was in high school.
Sure.
But so in the off season, I would play a lot of beach tournaments, and so like I'm like, you should be so excited, like you have a beach team, like you have a beach volleyball team, like for high school, that's so awesome. So, but a lot of our girls, they have like really great energy. They bring it to practice every day. They bring it to their matches every day. Like they don't give up. They push through every single time. So it's just
And they're taking on older teams, aren't they?
Yes,
Let's
yes.
Let's be clear. You're taking on, and you're telling me off camera how strong.
Mhm.
Of course, we all know about Venice's indoor record being
Yeah.
phenomenal, but all the other teams.
yeah. I
in the
mean,
area.
Charlotte's a great team. Port Charlotte, they're all
So they're taking on juniors and seniors. Little
Mhm.
freshmen are going up against people
Yeah.
not only physically but mentally more prepared after all those years of
Yeah,
practice.
absolutely.
So,
And they're doing a great job. They're stepping up to the plate. They're definitely improving and growing in like all of their skills for that. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned about the people going to the games. So what's your closest actual competition?
So when we play
Centennial
Fort Charlotte,
Park?
we play at Centennial. Yeah. We also play Charlotte down at Carmelita. So that's not too far. It's kind of deep, like it's Punta Gorda. But
This is varsity level, so you have to go to Bradenton and
so we've gone up to like Riverwalk, Bradenton, like to play Parish.
Okay.
We've gone down to Fort Myers to play Mariner.
So how long does the set take?
So, yeah, so they play-
You're when you're talking about travel time, you're not just playing one or two games and out, right? Or
Yeah,
is it?
so they play the places that we have our games, they have 3 courts, so we play 3 games at a time.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so and then our games are early, so our games are usually 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
All right.
Yeah, so
So how many? So if you're playing three games at a time,
Uh-huh.
there's multiple teams there, right?
it's us versus the other school, and so
So it's really-
so we'll play like maybe like our 1 seed, our 3 seed, and our 5 seed.
Cool.
And so they'll play, and then they'll do 2, 4, 6, or sometimes we change it up. But yeah.
So is it the theory that everyone plays?
Well,
Kind
so yeah, kind of like most teams keep like around 12. You do have those teams that have the larger teams that have practice players, but most teams, like we have 13, so we kind of switch people in and out. But most teams you have 12, so you have all 6 pairs playing.
So we're talking about a new sport
Mm-hmm.
to probably people as old as I am, maybe older,
Yeah.
who watch some of this on TV.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about the sport itself. Kind of give some, like that first education you gave to your athletes.
Yeah.
Give it to the listeners so they understand what you're talking about and what the needs will be in the future.
Yeah, so with beach, you obviously you have 2 players on the court. So 2 players, you're playing as opposed to indoor, you're playing to 21. You play best of 3. They have to switch sides in between. So they switch sides every 7. If they go to a third set, they switch sides every 5 because it only goes to 15. And like they can't with the hands calls. That's a big thing that comes up.
Let's talk about that.
Because
that drives
of
me crazy as an
yes,
announcer.
especially because
Okay.
we don't have official refs at like just our regular season matches, so it's the girls.
Honor system.
So it's either the girls, you have players on the courts that are playing, so you have players on the side that are keeping score, and like my players keep stats on their teammates, and it's kind of just like either the girls on the court are calling hands if it's not a clean set, or if they can't use hands to take like a ball off of serve receive. So if the ball's served, they can't use their hands. It has to be like flat, or like kind of like you have to punch it up or whatever. Is it
judged on the honor system? Like you have to
so it's kind of a lot of times if there is like an argument about it, as coaches, a lot of times we come and just say redo it, because even though we're watching 3 games at one time, so a lot of times we don't see every single play, so a lot of times
is the sportsmanship pretty good though? I can imagine that's a problem.
Yeah,
not a problem.
All teams are pretty good. Very nice like to play with and all of that.
It's kind of got to be difficult to do that.
It is. So we can't actively coach during like play.
Right.
So when they switch sides, I can like run over and say something to them really quick, or like the girls have to call their own timeouts. So we can't call their timeouts. So they call their own timeouts. They decide when that is.
So they're learning to really control the game.
They're controlling the game. They are in control. And so they also get a technical timeout. So like both teams, when like the score adds up to 17, so like they get that as well, but they definitely are in control of their game. They have to figure it out, because I can't just sub someone in for you if you're having an off day. Like they kind of have to pick each other up as partners. So that's where like the chemistry comes in of like having a good partnership and mixing around the girls and like who they're playing with. Is you got to have 2 people that are going to work together, but someone that's going to be able, like they're going to be able to bring the other person up.
So what's the communication like? Because you have that has to be something you work on in practice.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's got to be different than regular volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about that at the beginning of the season. So it's like with your partner, like you kind of have to go to your partner and be like, because people respond to different things, people shut down for different things. And so when you're in like those really intense matches or like really intense rallies, you kind of have to be able to read your partner and see like, okay, what do they need from me right now? Or like, what can I give to them? So we definitely talked about that. We did reflection on that at the beginning of the season. And then it's just that constant communication, because there's only 2 of you out there, you're going to get tired. Right. So the talking then stops, and like you have to just continuously talk. So we definitely do drills where we're making them, our practices are very intense, and we go from one thing to the next to kind of condition them for that.
Do you find that to be more difficult because you're a lot of your one-on-one play, you're like if you're the athlete that's making all the moves, you're not really talking.
Yeah.
Center fielders for baseball, softball, it's mine.
Yeah.
That's about all you hear from them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a whole different level of thought process, activity, and talking all at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely like they have to adjust very quick. That's one of the things that we've been focusing on heavily this season, is just that adjustment period. Like if something's not working, you have to adjust quicker than you would in indoor. So it's that
managing the game.
Absolutely.
Aspen, I was going to work today. I was on the radio. I watched some of the game last night, the Iowa LSU.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a really good story on everybody follows the girls' games during certain points of the year, or in this case with beach volleyball, everybody knows about the Olympics success we've had. And the story kept going, like, what will it take? Can we keep the momentum going? Yeah. So when I'm thinking about girls beach volleyball, and I was at FGCU the other day for a game for Imani, and I believe they had a beach volleyball team. Yeah. So I'm hearing there's more and more varsity programs out there. So that when I was getting college way back in the old days, it was just a fun thing, intramurals, whatever. So are you seeing that?
Well, the college that I played indoor volleyball at, Ave Maria, they added. We would during the spring for indoor, we would do beach practices and stuff to condition and things. But they did add a beach team like a couple years after I left. So it's growing. So they won a Sun Conference. They went undefeated in their regular season this year. So
So you don't know Ave Maria's down in the Naples area.
Yeah. So they're. It's definitely becoming a lot bigger, and more schools are implementing.
Are they specialized in their athletes? Like the indoor people don't play beach. You have to be a beach dedicated in high school.
It depends. So a lot of, I know there are some that are just completely dedicated to beach, but there's a lot that are both.
They can go both.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Probably at the higher levels.
I went to the coaches.
Higher levels, like at the higher levels, like the US, the
Penn State's, yeah.
USC, all of those ones, they definitely probably specialize, but I know at like the smaller schools, it's definitely they do double duty for that.
And that will be the question. The Olympics are coming up next summer in Paris.
Yeah.
You know, we all pay attention to the girls, the women's team
Oh,
and
yeah.
the men's team, and we, you know, I forgot who the pair was when we were growing up. I forgot Misty May.
Misty May and
something
Carrie
like that.
Walsh.
Yeah, those are always the ones that won gold after gold.
Absolutely.
But then it goes away.
Yeah.
You know, the leagues.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they still play tournaments all throughout the.
here we're used to it
Yeah.
before because there's CSK is always
Oh, yeah,
packed full of
absolutely.
tournaments.
But isn't this one of the hottest upcoming sports?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
really,
it's-
there's some real excitement
Oh yeah.
behind this move,
Mm-hmm.
and it's less contact, lots of activity,
Oh yeah.
fast pace, all the things that baseball tries to make it out to be now with all the
Mhm.
rule changes, and
Yeah.
basketball doing
Yeah.
the same thing. It has that tempo
Oh yeah.
to one, get started and get going and get completed
Yeah.
in a real time frame. But there becomes moments where there's chess matches.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about those? Because that seems to me where the teamwork, the thought processes, and the working together come into play.
Yeah. So you definitely we have had several where it's been very long rallies with the other team, and it's all about I telling the girls, like, looking at the other side of the court, like that, like you do that in indoor, but in beach it's on a whole other level. So looking at the other side of the court, because of there only being two people, we talk about like our different spots, like that they need to hit, like spots that are open. And that comes with the partner communication. So if you have your partner that's setting you, like them telling you what's open, you looking at the other side of the court. So all of that plays a factor in like how they're scoring, but it's also, that's such a quick like process to be doing all of those
Right.
things. So it's definitely something we're improving on and we're working on.
Yeah, John was talking about the up and coming. It reminds me a lot of pickleball taking
Oh,
over.
yeah.
Another hot sport.
So you
That's true.
have the traditional classic version, the parent sport,
Uh-huh.
indoor volleyball,
Yeah.
which requires X amount of coaches,
Mm-hmm.
gazillion amount. You have to have specialized courts for.
Yeah,
you can't play on
it's
an asphalt.
Specialized.
So then along comes
positions.
pickleball. Along comes pickleball, and you can just kind of do it wherever. Well,
Yeah.
I don't mean insulting it, but now you got beach volleyball, which has always been around,
Yeah.
but it's just growing. Now you just need a
Yeah.
coach
and-
or two and less equipment. You know, so it's a lot more
Yeah.
accessible.
It's
to-
like
to the
it's definitely intense in its moments, but I tell the girls it's like the mindset that they have when they're playing. It's like very not like it's chill urgency. Like they have to be
I like that.
like
Chill,
because
that's like my
if you,
day.
if
Chill
you think
urgency.
about beach, it's very much a lot of times it comes with like a head game with the other team.
Mm.
So like if you're playing beach and you see like that player is really struggling, I'm gonna serve to that player every time. So it's like it's making sure that
Sounds
the
kind
other
of cruel.
the other team is like unaware.
Okay.
They're like, you're not showing your, like getting the girls to be like, it's good that you're showing emotion, that show that you care, but at the same
I
time,
know.
like being relaxed and
Yeah.
showing like, okay, like. not
And
like-
before you get too far into this, tell everybody who your assistant coach is,
My assistant coach is Becky Halbert.
and tell who Becky Howard used to be for you when you were a
And-
younger.
Becky Halbert was my head coach when I played it.
And how does that feel?
It is definitely very full circle. I was very excited when she agreed to help me this year, since it's my first year being a head coach. So I really loved having her as an assistant. I think she brings so much like wisdom and just like years of knowledge of like playing the game and coaching it, and it's working really
Did
well.
she give you that old scowl? Like, oh,
we
how
kind
is
of
it?
when it comes with everything, so we read each other's minds a lot, so that's good.
Yeah, but as you don't know, Miss Howard, I keep saying Coach Howard,
I
she's
know.
still Northport High School.
Yep,
She's
she
working
is.
the Career Center, I believe.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Helping out the kids get to college.
Oh yeah, she's doing a great
applications
job.
and
Yeah,
VOTEC things and all that. So
absolutely.
was she your coach last year? I can't remember. Did you have this last year?
Yeah,
When
we
last
had
year, first season?
What
year you in?
we're the third year.
Third season. Okay.
Third season,
So,
yeah.
Okay, so third season.
Yeah.
Were you always coaching this team?
I was an assistant, so
Okay.
I was assistant for the past 2 years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. Now so you're locked in.
Yeah.
So your setters, that's the thing about beach volleyball. Everybody has to set.
Yeah.
Everybody has to serve.
Mhm.
Everybody has to dig.
Yeah.
If you can, you try to spike it. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Like
kind of hard.
it's not. You,
But
in
like,
indoor, everyone has a specialized position,
Everybody
but in
has
beach,
to
you have to
be-
be able to do everything.
And if you're weak in one, that's why you have a teammate to help you with the other strengths. So that's pretty cool. Who's your next home match? Or well, I shouldn't say home match. Your
Yeah,
next
so
match.
we're supposed to play Sarasota tomorrow, but it is supposed to downpour, rain.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to rain pretty heavily tomorrow. But then we do play Grace Christian at Centennial Park on Tuesday, so that's going to be our like senior day. We have our one senior.
That's cool.
So yeah.
Oh, you only have one senior?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is your player?
Nevaeh
Oh,
Pride.
Nevaeh.
Yeah.
Good. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Pride. Yeah, that's good to hear that.
So you're excited about next year then? Because you've got a team now that has only one senior,
Mhm.
and you're developing that crew.
Yeah, we have majority underclassmen.
Yeah, so you're not only do you have that, but you've got the soldiers marching to go recruit more,
Absolutely.
and that's kind of a cool thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And you show that excitement.
Mhm.
How do you pass your excitement on to them?
I think just like being like present in like our games and stuff. Like I definitely have a lot of emotion and I definitely talk a lot like to the girls and just talking to them about like my experiences and I'm like, oh my gosh, you like if they're ever having like a tough time and they call a timeout or whatever, I'm like, and they're just like not in the game. I'm just like, you guys need to like smile, like have like you get to play beach. Like I wish I was out there playing beach volleyball right now.
Remember
like,
where you're at.
I was like, just stay in the moment. Like think about where you are, because like I want to be in your shoes right now. So it's kind of just being present and just kind of constantly hanging out with them.
Well, Coach Davidson, I keep on calling you Aspen.
I know.
It's such a
Okay.
reflex. I want to thank you for finally getting on here. We got
Yes,
you
of
on.
course.
And best of luck this season.
Thank you.
When we say goodbye to the season, how long don't you start up in August with the indoors? That's the
Yeah,
first
I mean
sport.
we
It's the first sport.
do summer conditioning and stuff.
like right
but
here.
Yeah, so it's
Do you get a break?
a little bit,
A
like
little
very
bit?
little.
Yeah, for the fans out there, I think indoor volleyball, you are the very first game on the docket in August.
Yeah,
every
yeah,
year.
we play like our preseason games are usually like the first
So you
week of
get
school, I
going
think.
out. So, well, good luck with your own personal beach career. I
Oh,
don't know if
thanks.
you're doing fun or
I play
tour.
pickup.
Oh,
sometimes,
okay.
Yeah.
And then you did semi-pro or not like that. So.
Oh no.
Well, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Excellent job. All right. Thank you. While we transition to our next guest, I do want to mention we've had a couple little historic runs here. We had softball had a wonderful last inning heroics against Lemon Bay Thursday here in the preserve. Baseball's got 2 in a row. So softball today is hosting Venice right now as we speak. They're going to kick off or tip off here, and then baseball's going to Barron Collier. Guys, baseball. Oh, you can go ahead and choose him. So baseball starting. Friday. They're going to be home again. This is Lehigh. And guys, the very next day, Saturday, is the big one. I need everybody to listen to this. We're going to be playing at Cool Today Park, the Atlanta Braves Stadium, right here in Welland Park. Here, guys. I went last year for the first time. What a neat experience! The whole concessions are open. The tiki area is open. It's a little bit more costly, but if you get hold of the baseball players ahead of time, some of that money comes back to the baseball program. We have a link for it on our website, and we'll do it again before that. So again, that's 7 o'clock, Brave Stadium. If you've never been to the Brave Stadium, you've always wanted to go. It's a great venue to watch that game. So I wish them the best. And Thursday, we just had the wonderful 2024 Northport Track and Field Invitational. 33 high schools. Coach Fu did a great job with all the volunteers. I was there the whole time. We got out at 10:30. That's a meet record right there, John. That's a midnighter sometimes.
I know that's a quick time turn.
We had a lot of volunteers, just too many to name. We just want to thank everybody for coming out that night. We have one more track and field event. It'll be districts on Thursday, April 25th. That starts at noontime. So you can actually, by the time you get out of work, you'll be able to catch some of the later run events that go into 9 or 10 o'clock. You actually see it a little bit earlier. So good luck on everybody. And they went to the Florida Relays. We got to mention them. We had so many successes these last couple of years. You can qualify if you're good enough to go to Florida Relays, and we had several of our teams go up there. And I know this is special because I talked to some of the coaches Thursday night. Not all those teams. In fact, a lot of teams didn't have kids who could qualify to go to Florida Relay. Wow. So for us to get invited there was fantastic. All right, our next guest, NJROTC's chief. I've got Sam Kipe. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Sir, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How you
Pleasure having you on. I told John I brought you on here. I know you're not a high school athletic team,
Yes, sir.
but we're also highlighting other things that are going on. For a while, we've been doing the youth teams that go to Northport High School. We're going to start highlighting the little things behind the scenes that make our events go so smoothly. And I can't think of a bigger obstacle, pun intended, than for track and field to get those hurdles out of the way. And your cadets come out every year. They do hurdle detail. They do pit. They rake up the sand pits. They do a lot of retrieving on the discus and the shot put. If those cadets weren't there, we're going to midnight on everything because it's just not getting done. So not only that, but you also have, I think, the best color guard in the area for our football events. And back when I was still here, I'd get them up for basketball as well. So now you're here, I'm gonna try to talk. That's when I was here. I could give them my key to my room. They'd actually put stuff in my room and did basketball announcing. So great color guard. We have such a huge military retiree city. It's nice for them to come out and do that. So, Chief, tell me what's going on. Why did I bring you out athletically wise? What's going on for you guys coming up?
So we do a lot of things. ROTC is just more than just what people think is a military drill, colors, things like that. They actually have sporting events, academic brawls, brain balls. But currently, right now, we're in the season of towards the end of the season of orienteering, and also we also have our physical athletics team as well that participate. Like this weekend, we're going to be participating at Living Bay High School in a physical challenge, which is set up from Living Bay High School, which is concentrated at like a spec war, challenge, Navy SEALs, Army Ranger kind of event like that. So they'll go in and they'll run, they'll swim, they'll shoot. They have to do some intel stuff. So it's pretty cool on that aspect. So you use the whole aspect of it. But the big thing, we were really, really definitely proud of all our teams, but our orienteering team has just blown up this season. What Commander Barnes and the previous instructor, Senior Rainey, has set the foundation for. You're seeing the reward and benefits from.
Why don't you explain to our crowd what first of all, a couple parts here.
Yes, sir.
What is orienting? How do you get involved in it? And what will you be doing after you get out of high school with that? If you're a Navy, I'm picturing going through the jungle with a compass. What's a Navy man going to be doing, or woman? So
I say orienteering is kind of like what we try to explain to people that don't know about it. It's like cross country meets a scavenger hunt in the woods. So it's pretty good. They run. It's not only for individuals, but also it's based off of a team. So yes, your higher ranked or faster runners or best map readers can win, but each course is different. Sometimes they'll do them in the middle of urban area settings.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes they'll go into parks. Sometimes they're going into, like, we just ran one the other day, and it's a Oscar Shears,
Sure.
which it was out there in the sticks. Really, it was South Coast orienteering. They set it up. A guy named Mr. Gordon Hunter. He's from Canada. Comes down and he does this during his snowbird time. Sets everything up, but realistically, orienteering is really cross country with a map and a compass.
They have no idea it's all brand new to them. They've never seen the map at all.
They never see anything, so each course is prior to. We get some intel about it, but it's not much. It's just, hey, we're running at this location, and they'll give them a very broad map, and they basically try to, okay, this is kind of what the terrain looks like, landmarks and stuff like that. So when they do run and when they finally get that final map on race day, like 1 minute before they take off, because that's about how long they have to look at it, then they, clear and check their thing. They have like a little thumb drive stick. They have to hit every point.
Oh, wow.
And they'll look and they'll remember what they realized brain power with their maps, and they're hit for what they pre-studied, and then what the map Mr. Gordon has that's set up with the locations, and they bounce back and forth. And
Are these individuals, or they go in pairs? Or
they do individual, so that's where the individual element comes involved. Okay. They're running solo. They can't run where your players actually. If a Northport ROTC runner is running, the next runner will run about 3 or 4 minutes behind them. They won't even get to the start line, so they intermingle them between the other schools that are involved with the orienteering events.
Does each check-in point, is it easy to see? Like how they hide it so they don't just copy somebody miles in front of you? Like how do they not cheat that way?
Sometimes they can be like, it would be obvious, like wide open, but it's hard sometimes because they'll cross different courses. You have 3 different courses. You have a yellow course, orange course, and green course. So they have to hit the right marker. But sometimes they're hidden behind a tree, in a bush, around the building, against the building. So they have to. It's a hunt.
So what's kind of cool is I was the booster president in 07, 08, and ROTC was the essential part of helping us get set up, tore down, crowd control, gates open, just you name it, they said yes. They never said no. They always were there to help. And true story though, I ran into one of the old ROTC at a restaurant. I didn't recognize them. The funny thing was they recognized me. I haven't changed too much, just a little uglier. But the fact that I always showed appreciation to what they did. Every volunteer to what they do is important. We gave candy out. That's what that ROTC person remembered, is that during the end of the game, I always went out, gave them candy and said, thanks for helping me out today. Go have a good night and relax. I've never seen the ROTC ever let any athletic program down. So you guys are truly a supporting cast of Northport High School and athletics. And I group that all together because there are other things that you do to support other programs. And can you talk about that overlaying of support across the school, not just athletics?
Well, definitely. The point of ROTC, the cadets are, I think, different than normal students. They see the bigger picture. Not saying normal students don't see the bigger picture, but it's not really about the I, the me. They know it's about the outside, to be a supporter, to think outside the box. And they're really good ambassadors, not only for the school, because they know they not only represent Northport, the city of Northport, they represent Northport High School, they represent Northport ROTC, they know they represent Lieutenant Commander Barnes, and overall, they represent themselves, and they see the bigger pictures. It's just mind-blowing watching them grow. I've only been in this portion of it for a very short time, but you can see them grow as the school years. You see the younger guys mature. You see, juniors, seniors really didn't have a plan after life, that now they have plans after life. So they know the athlete. And then it's a surprising thing is when you get the emails from the former teachers or coaches saying, I noticed this about this person. I noticed this about this person. Or you hear about the stories of, we ran into this former cadet coming out and they still do this, and they talk about it and they just remember those special moments, helping at football games or doing track and field. They know the lessons of life. It's about thinking outside the box, outside themselves.
But it's a branding for life.
Yes.
So the beautiful thing is we just had a coach at Ohio State, Jim Tressel. One, speak at Ohio State, and then two, he was at Twisted Fork on Saturday for Christian fellowship. And one of the things they talked about was, more so than the fellowship, was the building of character. Can you talk about the ROTC and how you look at building character within not just the ROTC, but every aspect of what you do?
Oh, aspect, definitely within the ROTC, they come into the core foundations of the Navy or any military branch, the honor, courage, commitment, doing the right thing when someone's not around, that no eyes are on you. That it teaches them, because not every person in ROTC, and coming from the military side, actually was in a recruiting aspect of it. Majority of the kids that are in ROTC they don't qualify to be in the military. Some of them that do qualify, they're using it as a stepping block later in life for some life skills, for college. And that's the impressive part of it is, once again, they're thinking outside the box. How are they going to better the community? How they're going to better themselves? And it's contagious because other people see it. We've had a lot of students starting to notice, hey, this is a lot different. These individuals are a lot different. Yeah. They're getting things out, especially our latest. This year we had 12 seniors, and 6 of the 12 seniors are going off to college, and it's full ride scholarships.
That's awesome.
And then there are the other 6, which is to me even greater, just as a great accolade of going to college and universities, are going into armed services between, you know, Navy, Coast Guard, National Guard, Army, Marine Corps, so, and Air Force. So they're thinking outside the box. They're thinking about service. They're thinking, what can they do? Their legacy that they can leave on.
So I'm going to throw one more word at you. I'm going to throw it back to Sean. And I'm watching you. And I think it starts there and kind of works its way back down through. But talk about the pride that you're building within the program.
That's, as once again, a newcomer coming into this, going into it, I've seen this before. I've seen ROTCs. That's why going into recruiting my second time in my Navy career. That was up in North Carolina, just to see what the program was about, because I knew when I got out I was going to be a school teacher. I was going to go into education. I know that's my calling. To be pulled that way. Then I had a mentor of mine say, hey, why don't you check out the ROTC programs? I started seeing them. And then when I come down here on some orders over here at the local recruiting office, I started sneaking into some of the schools and really got into Northport High School with Commander Barnes. And he kind of started walking me and got me into going to these competitions, a variety of it. But it's with the pride that I would have, and it's contagious, even with the cadets, is when you put them on the spot. With this year in orienteering, we've seen it where they show up. I don't know how to do stuff. And then they actually hit all their marks. They actually do better than they think in accomplishing a task. And then to watch them tell their fellow students the next Monday morning, a pride of accomplishment, a pride of, and that makes us feel good as instructors that they're overcoming these little obstacles.
Well, here's the funny thing. We do shows about sports. Way to go, coach.
Thank you.
Because that's what you're doing. You're coaching them to be better men and women. And that's what coaches do. And you're changing lives. So good job. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Chief, I got a question for you. The volunteering part, we'll go back to the volunteering part for the sports hall. How do those kids sign up for? Is there a minimum requirement each year? Or how, 'cause I see the same ones. They're all good with, no one's upset that they're having to be out there.
It's not like what we call in a service or in real world voluntold. There's a difference between volunteering and voluntold. ROTC is actually cadet ran. The instructors, like Lieutenant Commander Barnes and myself, we're there to just facilitate, to manage. We do teach them, but like when it comes to people come out in the community, Northport, the high school, they send us the emails. We lay it out and say, hey, we received this emails. When do you want to do it? Can we do it? How can we support it? And then they put a sign-up sheet. And so there's a sign-up sheet for all 8 platoons that we have, and they volunteer. And sometimes there's not enough space. They'll write their names. We get more than merrier. So they see the benefit of it. I know I think with the high schools, they have to have this community service. But with the ROTC, it kind of comes with the
Got locked into that.
Kind of locked into it. But they like pouring out to the community because they run into veterans. They run into people who support, young men and women that are doing the right things, right. And not being.
Do you have an end of the year volunteer award of any kind or recognition program?
So we'll have an annual awards ceremony coming up April 17th, and I believe that's one of them because they get recognized not only outside by the big awards coming from AMVETS, surface warfare, the Marine Corps, like bigger units or bigger awards, but they also get in-house local awards and achievements that come around that people notice them and they put in packages. And sometimes it's a medal and a certificate, or sometimes it's a cash, gift to them for their hard work.
Yeah, shout out my nephew who graduated this year. He was at the Living Bay at ROTC, and I tell you, it really got him going in the right direction. We were always proud of him. He's a bigger man than I am too. I'm like, oh man, crazy to go see here. But he really enjoyed his time with the ROTC program at the high school there. We work with Living Bay at all, but
we're very close with Lemon Bay,
yeah.
Port Charlotte High School. We all pretty much stick together. Even Venice, we're all around, so we all stick. They might insert around here it's all Navy except for Venice, the Marine Corps, and then of course Lakewood Ranch Army. But we all stick together. We all help one another out. It's just basically who sponsors. What branch sponsors that program, but overall, it's like I said, they're learning. That's another thing, learning across branch or camaraderie amongst.
I was fortunate, John. One year, I forgot what year it was. It was a long time. I was still teaching. I got to be the announcer for the review, the official review. I got to do it one time, and it was such a treasure. Jill Luke was out there, the commissioners were out there for it, and I got to be the voice up in the press box. Now coming out the outfield, whatever the company's names and all that. It was really a neat experience. That's always in the daytime though, so people don't always get a chance to come out there. But if you get a chance, it's really worth seeing the cadets, how great a job they put on in their uniform and their displays and all that. I did want to mention, I almost forgot something, John. There was something new not new, brought back, that the cadets brought back. I hope you get involved in this. They brought the cannon crew back out again.
Yes.
That was fantastic to have that. And we were actually winning and scoring touchdowns, so you could actually fire.
Now they have to clean it.
Oh, there you go. That's too funny. I see you have some paperwork. I want to mention some names on there.
Yeah, mention some names. The one thing I want to do also too, we talk about orienteering, and this will kind of tell you how contagious this is getting. It blew my mind when I come in. I thought ROTC orienteering, but there's actually civilians that show up to this.
Awesome.
Also, Lamarck Elementary School here, Mr. Vincent Floyd actually brought some fifth graders to a couple events, and they actually run with the high schoolers. And Oscar Shearing, I believe it was 56 or 58. They actually they came in. So and that was at a state coastal regional competition. So they're running against high schoolers, and so it's getting involved. We're seeing emails about how can other like young Marines or how these like elementary school, middle school, can they get involved in programs to get involved in like orienteering.
Well, you know what brought me back to this is way back, I forgot when it was during wrestling season, because I was on campus on a weekend and I saw Miss Julie King, who was
I love that lady.
a force of awesomeness for the city of Northport.
Yes.
And I saw her, she had these big pizzas. I go, Miss King, what are you doing? I've got to feed the cadets. I'm like, what are you talking about? I can see them running around. I'm like, oh, no one told me about today was the day. So next year, I definitely want to get out there and put them on a camera and get a little interview with them. So do you have more than one home event? Do you?
We host event at our high school. Pretty much, I know Port Charlotte hosts one. I know Lemon Bay and I think Charlotte, they may have done one earlier.
So pretty much one per school.
One per school.
Okay.
Because I mean, it shares the wealth because we have Venice, you have Lakewood Ranch. There's another school in Bradenton. I think it's Braden River, Bradenton. So our orienteering goes all the way from Admiral Farragut down to Fort Myers. So once that orienteering
So it's a season. They're actually going week to week or every other week, something like
from
that.
November till we're going to States in Ocala, April 13th.
That's what I was asking. April 13th. Let's talk about how many of your cadets are going now.
So we're breaking that off. It's going to be about 24.
Oh, wow, that many.
24. There's some schools it's like crazy. I'm bringing them up, talking about them, but it's like Lakewood Ranch. They like a huge mountain team. Like they bring like 40, 50 kids.
I thought it was just one or two. I misread the whole thing.
So,
Wow,
yeah,
24.
We have 24. So you have a male division, female division in 3 different categories: yellow, orange, and green. So male, female. Add those up. That gives
Are there
you
different
24.
difficulty levels in those colors for like beginners, moderate, advanced?
And it's really distance wise.
Okay.
Really, your yellows are your freshmen or first year runners. Your sophomores are your orange courses are for your sophomores in kind of junior. Pretty much your senior at the longest distance, but the level of difficulty, and it's crazy because sometimes these kids cadets come back, missing shoes, and you're like, what in the world? Because they're running across,
I'm not missing teeth. It's just the shoes.
They're looking at a map, and what's the shortest point from point A to point B is a straight line, and they'll run through, creeks, muck, swamp. They don't.
Well, you're going to Ocala. There's bears up there. You better let them know. Bring their bear mates and bear whistles.
They'll run much faster with a bear behind them.
But there's a lot of accomplishments that this Northport orienteering has done. This is like, according to Lieutenant Commander Barnes, this is like the first we've ever seen it. But we have a lot of accolades. Like, for instance, we have 2 individuals right now that are placed first in the state at running, and that's crazy in the same school. And, and one of them is Ethan Farnham. He's ranked 1 out of 450 runners.
Whoa.
This is the yellow male division. Jedediah Gooch, he's ranked 4th out of 450. This next guy is Nikolai Semino. It's crazy. He's only ran 2 races. He just got out of his shell, came into it. In the last 2 races, last 2 to 3 races, he's placed first.
Wow.
and he's 26, correct right now in the state. And then you have Cadet Douglas, he's 29th in the state of about 450 runners. That's just the yellow team males. And then our females is Alexa Floyd. It's so funny. She's gifted in art. She's very like an introverted person, but you put her on that out there in orange chariot, it's like a beast comes out.
That's great.
And she's ranked first out of 310 females. Roxanne Maroff, she's ranked 23rd, or excuse me, 21st. Reagan Devaney, she's 26, and Haley Haas, she's ranked 38th out of 310 runners. So those are yellow females. Our orange men, male team, Devin Sykes, he's ranked 14th out of 394. Ranked 26. Dave Workmeister, he's ranked 38th. Noah Southgate, ranked 40th. Our orange females, you have Alyssa Collins, she's ranked 13th. Cadet Cortez, Allison Cortez, 33 out of 180. Riley Devaney, we call her Little Devaney because the big sister is higher. She's ranked 36 out of 180. And then we have Kaylee LaPointe, she's ranked 45th out of 180 as well. And then, like I said, our green teams are your advanced, they're your seniors, and they're doing very, very well themselves. Liam, actually, he's a junior. Guerin, he's 14th out of 220. You have Austin Nottingham, 17th out of 222. Bryce Woodward, ranked 22nd. John Miller, ranked 28th. Green female team, Dijon Folks, she's ranked 6th. Jordan Wager, she's ranked 14th. Big Floyd, she's ranked 15th. And then Kayla Johnson is 20th out of 80 people. And the female division, once they go up a lot of numbers, and then when they get to that green, the numbers drop because a lot of them don't want to do it, or it's just schools. A lot of times the schools don't have the manning. But
A lot of top 50s, top 40s in there. That's
top. They're averaging. I think the top 20%. It's amazing because, like I said, we're a big school, 157 cadets. But when you go to a competition, we're an average size school, because when you start getting in those schools around Tampa or down south and these bigger stuff, you're talking, like I said, Lakewood Ranch, Gaither, they're bringing 50, 60 people to it.
You're holding your own and more, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad you got cadets on the computer.
Listen, what I think is you invited a non-athletic organization who supports athletics, and that just happened. So there are athletes.
Oh yeah, no.
And you know what? There's got to be that pride connection between helping athletics and then going out and performing and doing that and representing.
It's a lot of times too, when they see the results, is like they may not make the top 5 at a race, but their group numbers got them within the top five rankings. Just like I know last in Oscar Shears, one of the events, nobody placed in the top 5, none of the runners in our team, but the team's points, the grouping of what they did as a team actually got them in the top 5.
Well, we'll be back in this building probably on the 16th. So we'd love to have maybe the kids come out with an update, maybe get some medals if they place at the state level. That'd be a wonderful thing to see.
I'll hit y'all back up and tell you how they
Well,
did.
Wonderful.
Chief, I want to thank you for coming out today. Again, you're our first of our support of the athletic program. We're going to have more coming on throughout the rest of the few weeks, but I wanted you to come out here first because you probably do the most. Not that each individual is not important. We all love our volunteers, but just the collective hours that you give the athletic department, and of course all the other departments in school. But just, I love the kids. When I was a teacher, I love having them. I love if they have problems, I go straight to Chief, not the administrator. You guys took care of problems. It was a wonderful, wonderful dynamic I had. So, any shout outs you want to say to your family back in North Carolina?
No. I actually live down here in Florida. I'm from Frostproof, Florida, Central. But it also come down here. But really, a shout out goes to all the supporters of Northport High School and ROTC in general. So, if any of my Navy buddies are watching, Thank you so much.
All right, well, Chief, thank you so much.
Thank y'all so
Appreciate
much.
it. Awesome, fantastic.
I just have to say
Oh,
one thing.
yeah.
Sorry about the glitch at the end. The iPad
Oh,
flipped the camera.
that's okay.
And
Can you
I
still hear him?
didn't
Can you still hear him?
You know, everything's good. I flipped it back,
Yes.
but I've never had that happen before. That's
Okay, yes.
crazy.
I want to share this. We also do something with Heron Creek. They're one of our biggest supporters, but they're having a golf tournament May 18th. You can be a participant by playing golf. You can sponsor a hole, or you can be, there's other avenues. Just contact us or Heron Creek, and they can walk you through it. But sponsor, because that money goes to help the kids to do a lot of these events.
And you can send us a link. We'll put it on our Facebook page as well. and promote.
So you need to go past the radio station, your nonprofit.
Yes.
Give this over. And just give me a copy. I'll send it over.
But that's yours. That's yours.
Anytime that you guys have an event like this, if you go past the radio station or just email the radio station, call them and get the email or get it to me, we'll do a PSA. And that's what we do for nonprofit organizations because we are truly a nonprofit organization. We're a community radio station that's supported by the community. You guys are too. And you're part of the community. So great job.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, on behalf of John Rawlings, faceless again, but definitely a voice.
I'm the voice of the background.
Thank you, Chief Sam Kipe here. Again, congratulations for joining the program. It's great to have a chief in place. Thank
Good job,
Aspen
Chief.
Davidson earlier. I'm Kirkpatrick. We will see you next Tuesday. Bobcat Blitz will be live at the baseball game. So we'll be back here on the 16th here before race. Take care, everybody. Good evening.